What's up, warrior? Welcome back to Daily Wisdom. Today, I'm going to be talking about the one technique you need to help you to become a sales pro. So, if that sounds like something interesting to you, like this, share this as well too, whether live or on replay, and let's get this information out there. But I wonder if you're in sales, marketing, business at all, have you ever had a situation when you're talking to a prospect and you're not exactly sure what to say next? You're scared to talk to them because you don't know what they might say back to you. You're scared that they might throw you an objection. You're not exactly sure, you're not exactly confident. And then you get into it and you can kind of just feel your vibe going down. Has that ever happened to you? Throw one in the comments if you've ever experienced that, because I want to submit to you probably one of the simplest things that helped me go from being a person that was so shy, could even order food at a restaurant, a horrible communicator, someone that would actually sweat. Just think about talking to someone, to now being someone that sold a lot of different things and is able to be an effective communicator. Now, I'm going to drop this tip to you. If you implement this, I promise you it'll change the game. So this is what I learned from my mentors is if you think about if you're a boxer, right? And maybe you have a favorite boxer. Maybe you're a Muhammad Ali person, maybe you're a Floyd Mayweather person, whoever that it is. There's something that boxers do when they're practicing. So imagine you have like the bag in front of you and you're punching, right? What they will do is they will actually start to visualize another opponent on the opposite side as they're boxing, and they shadow box, right? They shadow box. So they throw one punch. And what's going on, everybody? They throw one punch and then they anticipate, all right, if I'm on the other side, then how would they punch back? Have you ever seen that happen? Maybe it's in a movie, or maybe you've actually boxed, you've seen a boxer. So you're punching and you're dodging, and then you punch and then you dodge, and you literally can start to visualize this whole process when you're in a boxing match. But the power is this, is if you're in sales, and to be honest, we're all in sales, aren't we? You might be in a sales position. You might be a business owner selling an idea. You might be a leader of a team and you're selling an idea to your team. You might be in a relationship and you're selling your spouse, your kids, your grandkids, your family on an idea. We're all in sales. So sales is simply effective communication. If you adopt the ability to shadow box in your communication, you'll become super effective as a sales pro. What do I mean by that? Well, one of the biggest and simplest skill sets that we have in our business is the skill of what's called an invitation. Now, every business needs to do this. And an invitation is simply setting up an appointment for somebody to see more information about your business, your product, your service, whatever that it is. When I started learning this skill set of invitation, I struggled a lot. I knew the script because, to be honest, it's not hard. Any one of us can learn a script, right? You have people in no offense, you have people across the world in places like India, Malaysia, people that are not even native English speakers that can memorize and regurgitate a script. In fact, you can even have AI these days kind of be a chat bot, and you can have sales conversations. But the power of being a professional, though, the power of taking it to the next level, though, is being able to intentionally communicate with someone. So what do I mean by that? When I started to adopt this shadow boxing technique, I would then start to think, and this will boost up your confidence tremendously. I would think about my script, for example, and then I would think, if I were the other person, if I were the prospect, how would I feel if I heard that? Let me ask this question. Who here does not want to feel salesy or spammy or annoying when you're doing your business? Throw a 2 in the comments if that's you, right? It's an objection that I face. So like, well, I don't want to do something like that if I'm going to like lose all my friends and family and blah, blah. I'm like, I don't either. I agree. I'm pretty sure none of us would want to lose friends or family, lose reputation, feel unprofessional, regardless of what business that we're doing. So if we don't want to do that, and I certainly did not, then let's level up. So I started to think to myself this, okay, if I don't want to feel sold or spammed to or annoying, let me be in the other person's shoes. So I would say something and I would do an invitation. And then I would think, if I got that, how would I feel? Do you do this with yourself? Like literally, I just start to imagine being in the other person's shoes. If I were communicated in such a way, how would I feel? And to be honest, in the very beginning, and I would literally record myself and I'd hear it again. And I'm like, if I were actually in the prospect shoes, oh man, that didn't engage me. If I were in the prospect shoes, that came across too salesy. And I had to grow this awareness, which was not natural to me because remember, I could barely even open my mouth. But as you do this exercise of shadow boxing with yourself, as the prospect, as the teammate, as the person on the opposite side, as the spouse, I've had to really practice this in my marriage, by the way. I'm still working on that one. I'm pretty good with the prospect. There's something about a marriage, man, it's crazy. I don't know. God made it an interesting way where we could never quite figure it out. Anywho, it's a worthwhile cause. But start to shadow box. So I go line by line. I pick up the phone. I'm like, ring, ring. I think, how do I introduce myself to somebody? Right? And then I would think on the opposite side, all right, if I'm them in their exact shoes, how would I feel? And then I would think, all right, if I were on the other end, how would I want to be communicated to? What would make me say yes? And I would start to practice, and then I'd start to retune, and I'd start to practice, and I'd start to get better and better and better and better. And I tried in the field, right? You shadow box, you practice what it is that you're going to say, and then you deliver it. And then you see, is the outcome of what you imagine what it is that you had actually envisioned? If yes, cool, let's double down. If no, okay, what went wrong? And you go back to the drawing board. Does anyone else do this? Do you spar like this? Do you shadow box with yourself like this? Or throw a 5 in the comments if you either do or you're willing to. It's the big step that most people don't do. And I'm telling you, it's the biggest step that makes the biggest difference. Most people in sales and business and marketing, they don't spend the time. We don't spend the time to actually reflect. We're way too scripted these days, to be honest. We're way too copy paste these days, to be honest. I'm not saying to spend hours and hours and hours waiting and chiseling it. What I'm telling you is to use the time to be more intentional. What I'm submitting to you is to use the opportunity to learn how people think. And this is what I started to realize. You see, the words are pretty much similar. Right? In a sales process, the words are not too different. They're 90-95% the same every single time. If you were to hang out with me every single day and you saw me in my sales prospecting conversations, they're pretty much the same. However, the professionalism is in the 5%. What makes a pro athlete different from the amateur? In all honesty, the professionals versus the amateurs, they're pretty much similar in athleticism if you look at them. They're pretty much similar in their build. What's up, Dave? They're pretty much similar in every single aspect. You'll watch them shoot free throws. Let's say it's basketball. And what makes Steph Curry different from the other amateur? They shoot free throws. Their free throws are pretty good. They dribble. Their handles are pretty good. Their athleticism, they're pretty much the same. But you know what the difference is? The difference is in that 5%. The difference is in the extra little bit, that X factor that they have. That difference is that awareness. Steph Curry has such an awareness of the court, doesn't he? He can kind of like see, all right, there's this person over here, there's this person here. He can see moves happen a couple steps ahead. Now, you can insert your favorite basketball player in this analogy, but don't they have this awareness? It's almost like a sixth sense. And they grow that because they're aware. They grow that because they've done these exercises. They grow that because they're visualizing things happening before it even happens. So it's so important that in your sales process, if you want to be a professional, if you want to be effective, if you want to be in charge, if you want to be in control, spend the extra time that it takes, the intention that it takes to simply just imagine, hey, if I was on the other end, how would I feel if I heard what it is I'm about to say? Let me just end it with this. Truly effective communicators have one very simple focus. They understand that when they communicate, whether it's a video like this, whether it's a presentation, whether it's a prospect call, whether it's a follow up, whether it's a teammate, whether it's a relationship, they understand this. Here's the truth. Nobody cares about you. They only care about them. The one thing that people are saying to themselves is this: what's in it for me? And when you start to realize that, and then you can put yourself in their shoes and think, what's in it for me? And then you can start to communicate in a way that it only is relevant to what's in it for them. You become super effective, because the reality is that's where all of us are thinking about. Most of us are thinking about. If submit that to you, if you take this on and you're willing to do that extra little work and grow in that awareness, this technique of shadow boxing is going to help you to become a sales and communication pro. So I hope that encouraged you. If it did, if you haven't yet already subscribe to this YouTube, and also share this video if you feel this can help your teammates, help other people as well too. Other than that, we'll see you on the next ones. War is out.